Ah, yes, the Farmer's Almanac is calling for a cold, very cold, and snowy winter for us in Colorado. Does that mean anything, and how do they get their methodology? Let's get into it. But as a meteorologist, you could probably tell from my reaction, I would take that with the smallest of grains of salt. So, first of all, here's the map of the United States. It's calling for a very cold and snowy winter in Colorado. Now, before we get into whether or not that's right, it's worth noting just how vague this is, right? Cold and snowy, right? I can guarantee you that at some point in the winter, it is going to be cold. And at some point, it is going to snow. That's a guarantee. You can lock that down. That's a total guarantee. Now, as a whole, does that mean it's going to be a cold and snowy winter? Well, the way that the Farmer's Almanac comes up with this methodology, and I'm not trying to necessarily poo-poo on the whole Farmer's Almanac, but it comes up with its methodology based off of lunar cycles. It's also extremely vague. You've got three words to define a whole season, a whole 3-month span for us across Colorado. Now, does that mean the northern mountains, the southern mountains, the eastern plains of Colorado are going to get lots of snow? Of course, it doesn't get into that sort of detail. And it's pretty unlikely that the entire state of Colorado, the way things work here in Colorado, that it would all be snowy and cold across the entire state. The chance of that happening, little. And in fact, back in 2010, there was an analysis done by the University of Illinois about the accuracy of Farmer's Almanac forecast. It found it right 52% of the time. Flip a coin. So whether or not it's going to be a cold or snowy winter, I'm going to give you a couple of different creatures that may have a better idea of what's going to happen this winter. Here's Miles the mascot. He's got a good idea about the winter forecast. It's going to be orange and blue for us this winter. Here's Penny the corgi, who at some point will have her 3-inch legs covered by snow. So those creatures have a better idea than the Farmer's Almanac about what's actually going to happen this winter in Colorado. I've already said that my lean would be not a super snowy winter in Colorado, not a super cold one, but the Farmer's Almanac saying the opposite. Take it with a grain of salt.